Hi angels, welcome back to my channel. This week I have some really juicy content. There has been a viral dupe going around for the Rare Beauty blush. This blush is iconic and this is the shade Joy that I have in my hand. It's one of my favorite shades actually for my skin tone. The Makeup Revolution blush bomb, it has caused a ripple on the internet because I really feel like this fan favorite is just like a one of a kind. So people kept mentioning this and saying like, oh my gosh, it's a dupe, and it's a drugstore dupe. But is it really a dupe though? So I have done some shorter videos on my IG and TikTok where I review this guy, but we're gonna compare the two side by side to really put it to the test. And I'm gonna talk about the primary differences and similarities that the two have. So if you wanna see that, keep watching. I'm gonna be using two of the exact same brushes to blend these out so they have a fair chance. Nothing is gonna be different. Same exact base on each side. So this is the Rare Beauty foundation brush. And I actually love this brush for foundation, but I really love it for blending out liquid blushes. So that's what we're gonna be using today. And okay, so this is the shade Glam Orange, and we're just gonna dive right in. I have my full makeup done, but I did not set anything in place because whenever we're putting a cream on top or a liquid, I like to just do it without any setting powder so that it blends well. I just washed these right now, so they are a little damp, so I'm like trying to dry these babies off, but I'm putting one dot as I normally would with the Rare Beauty, and we're gonna just blend that upwards, patting it into the skin. And you guys can see here that this is a very, very, very shiny, glossy kind of formula. And I have acne scarring, as you guys know. It can enhance it a little bit, but honestly, I like a dewy look, so I really think it's pretty, but I don't think it's as pigmented as the Rare Beauty, but we will find out very shortly. So I popped that on. I would just go ahead and take my beauty blender and blend a little bit of the outer edges. So here it is, very natural, very pretty. I think a lot of my natural babes are gonna love that one. Then on the other side, we're gonna just put a dot of Rare Beauty Joy. I'm trying to make the dots the same size. So we're going in with the clean brush right now. The reason I'm wiping it is because it's still a little wet because I chose to wash it right before the video, which is a little silly, but I think they're mostly dry. Okay, so immediately you could see the pigment on this one, okay? Like there's so many jokes about how like the Rare Beauty blush will be passed down to your loved ones after you pass away because it's just one of those things that will just, you need such a small amount, but you could clearly see the pigment here, and also the finish is different as well. So I'm gonna obviously need to diffuse with my, we're just done, we're good to go. No, I'm gonna diffuse a little bit with my beauty blender, but we can clearly see who wins in the pigment category. It's clearly Rare Beauty. And the finish is also quite different. So I'm gonna talk about some primary differences we see right off the bat now that we have both on. So for the Makeup Revolution, it's a lot lighter of a formula. It's a lot more glossy. And the Rare Beauty is just more of a natural finish. Like it's not glossy, it's not matte, so it's a skin-like finish. And honestly, I still think this one is very beautiful, but I'm just thinking to myself, and I will say here that I don't really think it's a direct dupe. Is it a beautiful product as well? Yes, but is it exactly the same? No. Yes, they have similar kind of applicators and stuff like that, but, and if we were to layer this just for the sake of layering, just to see if we can get it as pigmented as this side so that I'm not walking around as a clown for the rest of the day, let's try and amp it up a little bit. I'm using that same brush. So I do see it getting amped up a little bit, and that's nice. So we know this formula, we can layer it. And I will, of course, blend out the harsh edges with my beauty blender. So these shades are very similar. I'm finding they're very similar, but now that I've layered it, it looks a lot more similar. Like it's buildable, but the finish is still quite different. It's lighter, and I do find that this one is more like if you love a dewy glam, you would go for that. So that's kind of how I feel about these two. I think they're both great, but they are just a little bit of a different product. If you layer this one a couple times, the color looks pretty similar. So I will give Makeup Revolution that. That's amazing. And I do think this is a really great bang for your buck. This formula is great, and I'm going to continue testing more and more shades. I want to know what you guys think. Do you think they look like a dupe? Could it pass as the same thing? for me, I'm just feeling like it can't pass as exactly the same, but I like both. And like, this is one of my favorite liquid blushes, the Rare Beauty. Like, this is an icon. She is an icon. And Selena Gomez knew what she was doing when she made this blush, okay? So that's why it's like on my favorites list for sure. But also Makeup Revolution knew what they were doing with this one too, because I still think it's so gorgeous. So I'm gonna set my face and then I'm gonna come back just to see what both sides look like once it's set. Okay, I am back. I set everything in place and now I'm kind of torn. Like, I haven't put any type of blush on top, obviously. I never thought I'd say this, but they almost look the same. I mean, you tell me what you think. Let me just look at it again. Aside from a slight more of a sheen on this side, they virtually look the same to me. And I am truly shook. So is the formula exactly the same? No, it's not. But if you layer this one on a little bit more, it looks very, very, very similar. And I'm actually so surprised by me even saying this, because I used another shade and it was a pink shade, and it literally just almost disappeared on my skin and it looked like there was just a bit of a gloss, but like it disappeared. So I was thinking, like, I did already have that in the back of my head, thinking, no, it's not going to be the same. But if you layer it, it is pretty similar. So I'm shocking myself. So for this particular shade, or Glam Orange and Joy, they are giving very similar vibes. They are very similar. It's just that this one will get used up a lot faster because you have to layer it and use a lot more of the product. But hey, I mean, the price point is pretty cheap on this one. Do I still think this is kind of a one-of-a-kind formula? Yes, because it's so pigmented and there's just like nothing else in my collection, and I've tried quite a few things. There's nothing else like it. But another question that I have is, how will this one wear throughout the day? This one stays on my face. Like, I come home and I still see the blush there, but will this one wear as well as this one? That's another factor in making it a true dupe, if it wears as well as the Rare Beauty. So that's another thing that I have to keep an eye out and consider when saying, yeah, it's exactly a dupe, because it's definitely not exactly, but it definitely is a contender. So I am shook, but I support this product, and I also support this product. It's really up to you, but I mean, the results are speaking for themselves. You tell me what you think. I'm still really shook and confused about how this is looking. Okay, so for example, the Rare Beauty is looking a little bit more it's looking a lot more pigmented, as you could see on the side here, whereas the Makeup Revolution is looking a little bit more glossy, and I still haven't layered any blush on. So I'm still really shook by this review. Like, I've shocked myself, honestly. That concludes today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more reviews of different shades of this color, then let me know in the comments, because I can definitely film more content on that. I will also be filming like a lot shorter reviews on this, because I have a few of the shades, like I think all of them that they released. It might have been like 5 shades. So check out my reels and TikToks for that. And let me know what you guys want to see next week, because I'm always on the lookout in the comments to see what you guys want to see here in a more in-depth tutorial on YouTube. And I think that's what I love about YouTube. I can actually properly talk about something and take my time. Whereas Instagram and TikTok, I just feel a lot more limited because it's such a short time. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I post every single Sunday, so keep an eye out for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my most recent video that I posted right here, and I will see you guys next week.